Welcome to Afternoon Live. I'm Karen Mack. We've got a great Thursday show planned for you. Okay, from cliques to frenemies, girls' friendships can be very complicated and emotional. So here to help us navigate the ups and downs of girls and friends, we welcome back teen expert Barb Steinberg is with us today. Barb, good to see you again.
You too. Thanks for having me.
This is the truth, and let me tell you, having girls, I know it starts super early. I mean, even before those teen years.
Absolutely, it does. Girls have intense relationships from the get-go, and there are reasons for that, for sure.
Yeah, talk about this. How important are friends to girls?
Yeah, so girls have a little bit of a different experience in friendships than boys do. And one of the reasons why is because, as we just said, even when they're little girls, we can see the intensity in their friendships. You know, they're hugging and kissing each other, they're holding hands constantly, they want to spend the night every night. Well, that doesn't change when it moves on into adolescence. That intensity remains, and girls have, again, different than boys, they have a primal need for attachment. If you have a primal need for attachment, then you have a different experience to potential loss of a friendship. So that's why sometimes girls will stay in a toxic friendship or an unhealthy friendship for that fear of isolation.
So how important is it to actually, for a girl to find her tribe?
So important, so important. So as girls are entering into adolescence and moving through those teenage years, they're doing what they're supposed to do developmentally, which is to separate and individuate from their parents. So when they're making new friends, they're actually almost making a new family so that they can withdraw and separate from their family of origin and move into adulthood. So that's why these relationships are so important.
What are some ways that we can help our daughters make good friends and know who the good friends are?
Yes. So sometimes that's trial and error, right? We have to experience friendships to figure out what works for us and what doesn't. But as parents, sometimes that's hard for our girls to figure out. So we have to help them with that. So what we can do is we can ask self-reflective, non-judgmental questions, holding up a mirror, asking them about their friendships. For example, you could ask questions like, tell me what it is that you like about Emma as a friend. What does she give you? You can ask, what are your top 3 qualities that you want in a friendship, and when is the last time Emma gave you those? So again, you're teaching her to kind of evaluate the reality of her friendships.
When you know that your daughter comes home, let's say, and is sad about a friendship or something that happened, or Emma wasn't very nice to me today, at that point, what do you do?
Yes. So the first thing we really want to do is honor their pain. So it's a struggle. It's painful for her. And we want to remember that. Sometimes as parents, when we see them struggling or hurting, we really want that to end. So we begin to say things like, I'm sure it wasn't that bad. I'm sure she didn't mean it. She probably was just joking. You're being too sensitive. When really that's diminishing and trivializing their experience. So if we're going to honor their pain, we're going to be direct and say, wow, I'm so sorry that happened. That sounds really hard. Then she feels heard and seen, like, oh, you get it. This really is a big deal. I can talk about these things with you.
Do you have to dive a little more into it, though, and find out whether or not it's your daughter who's causing the problem?
Yes, that's a hard one for parents to own, for sure. So we really need to be observers. Anytime we can observe and watch their interactions, if we're driving a group of girls, let's say, we really want to be as quiet as we can and listen to these conversations to gather information. Ask other parents, ask teachers, administrators what they're seeing and hearing. If we're getting wind that our daughter is being unkind and being the mean girl, so to speak, then she might need, in some cases, it's helpful to have someone like a teen life coach like myself or a counselor to help her learn social skills to get her needs met without hurting others or isolating or alienating others.
So let's talk about this whole frenemy, right? So it's like part-time friend, part-time enemy, kind of the back and forth relationship. Are those healthy in a way or not at all? And how do you help your daughter kind of navigate through it?
I will say it's very common because in friendships with girls, especially during this age, they're playing with their own power. And one of the purposes of a clique is the need for control, how I can control others. And so that power sometimes can be used in a negative way. So we might directly and gently say things like, you know, I totally see that you have so much fun hanging out with Madison. I see that you guys have a good time. Just so you know, friends real friends don't do such mean things to each other over and over. Or you could say, it's totally your choice if you want to hang out with Madison. I just would like you to be careful because history shows that her niceness may not last.
Is there any ways, as far as when you find out that your daughter's not being a good friend, what do you do at that point?
Yeah, so that, for girls, it can be tricky. They don't understand always, for example, that their sarcasm is not landing. They're thinking that they're being funny, but you're observing and you can see that her friend is actually kind of put off or hurt by it. So again, being gentle because, girls are really sensitive to any form what they see as criticism from their parents. So if we can say, you have such an amazing personality. I personally love your sarcasm. I just happened to notice that when you said this to your friend Madison, it kind of looked like it might have hurt her feelings a little bit. She might not have understood that you were joking. Can we talk about maybe another way you could have said that? Because really, girls need a role modeling from us. They don't know how to say these things.
When you witness things firsthand, when you're observing, let's say the girls all together, or a way that a friend treats your daughter, can you speak up in that moment? Or is that something that you just have to let ride in the moment and then walk away from and confront?
Yeah, great question. So some of that I would say use your intuition on that, which I think is one of our greatest skills as parents. Also, depending on her age, you can also ask her, hey, when your friend said this to you, I didn't think that was the nicest. Would you be okay with me speaking up in that moment? Or would you rather I not? Because you don't want to put her in a position where she is now going to be alienated from the group and they will turn their backs on her because her mom made them feel small or less than.
And really quick, I know we just have like 30 seconds left, but once your daughter loses those friends, loses their best friend because of something that happens, what's a way that you can help them gain their confidence back?
Yes. So we want to talk to them about friend dating. Look around, observe in your school who are possible potential girls that you see consistently being kind. Maybe they share common interests with you. What's your pickup line going to be? Are you going to invite her to be part of your science group? Are you going to ask her over to come to a movie? You also want to get her involved in any activities outside of school so she can be with other peers and build her confidence and competence in that way as well.
Love it. Thank you, Barb. Good to see you again.
You too, thanks.
Good advice for everyone, and we're going to have more information on Bob on our website at KATU.com, and we'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.